throat. Slit your goddamn throat.
What is up, everyone, and welcome back to Amateur Hour Sports Talk, home of the Monday morning quarterback and hotspot for washed-up athletes, telling the people who get paid millions how they should be doing their job. We have a number of good topics lined up for you guys today. We're going to be talking about which NFL team has the best chance to keep the Chiefs from repeating. We're also going to talk about Cam Newton's future moving forward, which NFL team has the better franchise quarterback, whether that's the Browns or the Ravens, if Giannis can win a championship for Milwaukee, and the Amateur Hour crew is going to give you our picks for Week 15 of the NFL season. So make sure you stay tuned.
To start off, Schofield. Who's got the best chance at dethroning the Chiefs as Super Bowl champions?
No one.
They're repeating.
Not
one single team has a chance to beat them.
I mean, you can say any given Sunday, but as of right now, no. Chiefs will repeat.
Sorry, Alvarez.
I gotta shoot for them Steelers. That defense is wicked. Big Ben showing his age. I think it's going to be...
What did he say?
Steelers. He said
what?
the Steelers
got the best chance of
the Steelers will beat the Chiefs.
Somebody get this man a drug test.
Steelers might not even make it out of the first round playoffs.
I agree. I don't think they couldn't even beat the Bills. What the hell are they going to beat the Steelers?
Why they come beat the Bills?
Or how are they going to beat the Chiefs?
Why they come beat the Bills? For one, their running game was down. They couldn't run the ball consistently.
Their running game is bad.
They couldn't run the ball consistently. And they just had the receivers got locked down. I mean,
by a subpar Bills team.
Bills
defense. Bills defense.
Bro, they got some of the best DBs in the league.
They're not a top 10 defense. I'll say that the Bills are not a top 10 defense. They're not. They'll check the stuff.
So let me guess. The only team that's gonna dethrone Kansas City are the fucking Browns.
Well, no.
Somebody that hasn't been in the playoffs in fucking 20 years.
I'm actually. We gotta take shots at the Browns. It ain't even the Browns' second yet. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm actually surprised that you didn't talk about your team as being the team to dethrone. I was going to say that's surprising. So the Saints this year, they won't even make it out of the next.
First of all, the Saints play the way they played last week against the Eagles. They ain't going no fucking way.
But they're not going to play that way in the playoffs. The Saints
playoffs.
You guys are getting
Jim Mora.
You're clinched.
I get it. I get it. But if Taysom Hill comes out there and he's doing the bullshit, come on, 2 turnovers on him, we should have won that game.
The Saints
we should have won that game.
But Taysom Hill's not your quarterback in the playoffs.
Correct. Man, you think Drew Brees is going to be 100%? They're talking about he's coming back this weekend.
So you don't even have your team coming out of the NFC?
No. Now, before I did, when Drew Brees went down, you can't tell me you're going to come back from a punctured lung and what they say, 11 broken ribs? I don't know how that's possible in 3 fucking weeks.
This man can almost suck his own dick.
To come back and fucking make a Super Bowl run. Come on. I don't give a fuck who you are.
So who's coming out of the NFC? I'll tell you who's coming out of the NFC. Who's the Green Bay Packers.
You do. I would have to say
Bay.
Green Bay. If I had to put my money, it had to be Green Bay and Seattle.
I agree. You know,
Green Bay or Seattle.
So we were talking
And they
earlier.
got a shitty defense.
And I think it was like, besides the Chiefs, there's no one in this playoffs upcoming. I'm like, they're a guaranteed lock to beat other teams. I don't think the Packers are guaranteed over the Saints or the Seahawks. I think the Rams are a sleeper.
I don't think the Rams are a sleeper.
You don't think so?
No, they have the best defense in the NFL, and Aaron Donald's a beast. But Jared Goff,
they got the best defense.
Sucks.
The Rams have the best defense.
Yes. Yes.
I wouldn't Bellevue would say I'll have to throw this in his face. Stats, pull it up.
Well, so I checked them today for defenses, and the Saints are top 4 in points allowed and average points per game. And then up until last week, the Saints had not allowed a 100-yard rusher.
And we gave it to two.
And you gave him the 2 last week. Okay, but that was
So
an
top
anomaly.
that running back. So, I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're number 2 in yards allowed for the whole season.
I can't even argue with him right now because they fucking beat my Saints. I can't even argue with him that his running back not top.
But the Saints are number 2 in yards allowed for the whole season. I think the Saints got a lockdown defense. They have a good
You got a lockdown
defense.
Lockdown defense. You got to think about it.
That's what I'm saying.
And they could put up
The Saints are going.
Well, here's my thing. When
Going where?
at
They're
some
going
point,
to the Super
right,
Bowl. To the fucking Cowboys.
when your defense
going
is
to the
constantly fighting, right, getting you the ball, getting you the short field, and you either come away with a fucking field goal or a turnover, that's a problem.
How are you complaining right now?
Because
You're
Drew Brees is not the
10-3.
quarterback.
You're 10-3.
I fucking know that.
Drew Brees is coming back.
Let me tell you why I'm complaining. Drew Brees been down for 4 weeks with 11 broken ribs
And then went 3-1.
and a punctured lung, right? But he's gonna make a run for a Super Bowl when right now they're talking about
Is he one of the greatest of all time?
he can't even make complete passes without being in pain.
I could probably throw better than Drew Brees right now.
I'll put him up.
That may or may not be.
That day, Drew Brees. If Drew Brees steps onto the field, he has that Drew Brees.
He's not going to. He's not going to throw the ball 15, 20 yards. That's not Drew Brees' game.
The last way I thought this show was going to start off, where I'm talking about the Saints and he's talking about how bad they are.
I'm not saying they bad. I'm not saying they. I love my guy. Come on, you know that. I'm gonna get credit where it's due. But right now, they're not due credit for me. I don't think Taysom Hill is gonna be capable of making a consistent run until Drew Brees is healthy. That's why they're trying to force him back right now. If it was Teddy Bridgewater that was playing from last year and they held Drew Brees out until the last game of the season just so he could get some reps, I would say we're going to the Super Bowl. I don't have the confidence.
So
Drew Brees is gonna come back and he's gonna wind up getting hurt again.
So you got Green Bay. You got Green Bay too coming out of the NFC. Best chance to beat the Chiefs.
Well, I think
you got best chance to beat the Chiefs.
I said Green Bay or Seattle. If I had to pick one, I'm going to Seattle. I'm gonna tell you right now. I will not put my money against Russell Wilson.
But you put your money against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
We need a drug test.
Yeah.
You're fucking high.
NFC.
I'll put.
you're fucking high.
Packers right now. I mean,
Russell Wilson is fucking
week
legit,
15,
bro.
of course, the Packers, because you need to score points to beat the Chiefs.
You got to put up points.
You got to put up points.
Well, I think the Saints have the best. I would say they probably have the best all-around team, just because Green Bay's defense really isn't that good. So that's the only thing that would scare me with Green Bay. But I think if you get into a shootout with Green Bay, nobody's going to top.
Well, we're-
Yeah.
Well,
And Devontae Adams, they're freaks in nature. I don't know.
Is Devontae the best receiver in the league?
Yeah, this year, yeah, by far.
I gotta give it to him.
Yeah.
This year, I don't know how I would say
we can't. Michael Thomas has not been healthy, so
Like I told Bellamy, he's like, oh, well, that means Michael Thomas not a top 5. No, he's not a top 5 this year. The dude played fucking 4 games. 4 games. I mean, last week, the last 2 weeks, he had 2 really good games. Yeah, really 2 good.
I'm rocking
really
with
good
the Saints. Who do you got for the AFC? Best chance of upsetting them in the AFC?
I would probably say the Buffalo Bills.
Me too.
Really?
I got the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
But you were just talking shit about their defense.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
They have-
if I had to choose
they
a
have
team
a
out of the
decent
AFC, who's going to beat them? I would say the Bills. Josh Allen's playing like a complete baller right now. Their defense isn't terrible. I don't know that they would be able to like slow down. I think Kansas City, when you play them, if you could get them to punt on like 2 series and you keep the game a shootout, that's how you beat them. Because I don't think you're going to stop Patrick.
You want to keep it a shootout?
Hey,
You would
For
have
Kansas
to.
City?
You would have to get at least 2
Wrong
stops.
answer.
You would have to get 2 stops and then convert with touchdowns on those drives.
Their defense isn't good at all. I'm going to be honest. Their defense
Tennessee,
I don't think their
Titans.
defense is good. You take,
Tennessee Titans have the best chance of upsetting the.
hear me
because
out.
they can run the ball.
They run the ball. You keep Patrick off the field, you win the game.
And they run the ball.
You stop them from being on the field. That's how you defend the Chiefs. You got Derrick Henry, best
Time
running back in the
possession, I
NFL.
know that. But the
So-
problem is what
so-
happens when Derrick Henry can't run like that.
Well,
What happens when he plays like he did against the Browns?
obviously, I'm going out on a limb. If that happens, that happens. But
What happens if it's 3rd and 10 in the bottom of in the 4th quarter and Ryan Tannehill's throwing the ball?
Well, I'll say that
Well, hey,
Tannehill's an underrated quarterback.
He did it against the Ravens. I wasn't expecting that shit to go overtime, but
fourth quarter.
huh?
3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Ryan Tannehill's got the ball in his hands. He's going to drive down and go up on the Chiefs.
If you're running the ball and you have the lead, that's how the Eagles beat the Saints last week. For the first time all season, we had the lead.
They ran the ball.
We ran the ball. Our time of possession was probably the best all season, if I went and looked at it. And that's how we beat the Saints.
Your defensive line was very good, too, though.
Yes.
So this is why I say the Bills. I say the Bills because Josh Allen, obviously. So each of the last 3 years, he's increased his touchdown to interception ratio. From year one, it was 1-1, 2-1, 3-1 now. The defense last week against Pittsburgh only allowed 224 yards and 14 first downs. So I don't think that they can stop the Chiefs, but I think that they can slow them down enough to where maybe they're able to get a lead. And then, I don't trust their running, but Singletary's not really that great.
That Chiefs offense, man, is like these guys be fucking just appearing in the end zone and the ball is there. Like, I don't understand how they score so fast, man. Patrick Mahomes, my man, what do you got? What do you got? A 30-yard sack?
Mahomes, he ran back.
Like, come on, man. 30 yards.
People used to shit on the Browns for that. Like, I remember in week 1, we had like a 3rd and 40-something, but the Chiefs do it and like nothing.
Well,
which I get it. The caliber of the team is completely different, but let's not shit on the Browns.
Like, so you're with Schofield and you call it Titans? Best chance of upsetting the Chiefs?
Or
are you going Steelers? You started off by saying the Steelers.
I'm saying Steelers, but I like the Titans. What's his name? Derrick Henry? That dude is a freaking monster, man.
Now, like I said, you control the clock. That's how you play defense against the Chiefs.
Last week he had almost 220-something yards?
Yeah.
How many touches did he have?
He has to carry the ball at least 20 times.
Yeah, I'm sure he had over 20 touches.
Hey, he's just a monster of a human. Like, his size, it's like DK Metcalf. The size and the speed for that position. It's the same with Derrick Henry.
It's like somebody,
and the speed.
DK Metcalf, yeah.
It's like somebody put shoulder pads on a fucking Mack truck and taught him how to run a 4.40.
Pretty much. And it's like Darius Slay was trying to hang with DK Metcalf. Darius Slay, which DK is probably faster in a 40 than Slay. And Slay's supposed to be one of the better, I haven't seen it this year too much, but supposed to be one of the better cornerbacks. DK is just being a man against children. So the same thing with Derrick Henry.
Biggest flex of the year is DK wearing that pacifier mouthpiece too. Yeah. Don't let that go underappreciated.
All right, with that, we're going to move to our next topic. Gentlemen, what is going to happen after the season ends with Cam Newton? Sarn Alvarez.
I think Belichick gonna let him go.
I do too.
They're gonna get a good draft pick. There's some good quarterbacks coming out this year.
There is.
And they're gonna hold him to the last second. So they find a new franchise quarterback.
Because didn't he just sign for the 1 year?
He signed for 1 year.
And the minimum too, wasn't
Yep.
it?
Yeah. He had a bunch of incentives that was gonna get him over a couple million.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're gonna be done with it.
You think his career's over?
I don't
think it's over. He's going to sign somewhere else.
But where?
Do we see?
Where?
Well, there are several teams that need quarterbacks or could draft a quarterback and sign him as a backup or a mentor type.
Well, okay, so if we're talking his career being over,
he's
not
not.
going to be over.
He's not going. Yeah, it's not over. He's still going to sign, but
it could be just like what the Chargers did. The Chargers had what's his name from Tyrod Taylor.
Yep.
They punctured his lung on purpose after 3 games, and my man from Oregon got a start.
They probably made that team doctor do it and be like, "Go shut your mouth and we'll pay."
And that dude is legit though. I think they knew from day one, first day of practice, they knew he was going to be legit, and they had to wait it out,
So if you look at Newton's stats this year, he's got 2,100 passing yards, 5 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a 46.7 QBR.
It's unbelievable.
His best game was against Houston, 26 of 40, 365 yards, and 65 completion percentage with 1 touchdown.
Against an awful team.
Wow.
Yeah, against a very bad defense.
who's surrounding him?
Well, that comes
the
into
reason why Brady left, I think.
And
I don't think Brady left
and that's
for any other reason other than He had no skilled players, just like Carson Wentz. If I was him, when my contract is up with the Eagles, I would leave. After what they did him this year.
Well, he's not going nowhere unless we trade him. Because
I know what I'm saying. If, when this contract time is up, I wouldn't even extend him. I would be out of that.
You missed this last week. He thinks he's going to the Colts next year.
Yeah, Carson Wentz will be a Colt.
He's going to be a Colt.
Probably is. That's what his offensive coordinator is. I see that happening.
So I said
that means the coach got to give up a lot.
I said that I thought Dak would go to the Colts next year. I'm gonna take that back because I thought of something. I was talking to a friend about this. I think that it's possible that Dallas trades Dak and their pick to get the Jets' #1 pick. I think that's possible.
That sounds like some shit Jerry Jones was for.
That's not possible.
That sounds like something that Jerry Jones.
I would.
You heard it here first. Hey, you heard it here first. You heard it here first.
I bet
the Jets are going to trade the #1 pick to Dallas for Dak Prescott and whatever pick that Dallas ends up with.
So if Prescott goes to the Jets,
I mean, it sounds like the Cowboys are going to have that.
They're going to actually get over 5 wins with Prescott and Adam Gates.
If Prescott,
no. Well, it's not about that. That's not.
You got to get rid of that motherfucker.
Well,
besides the fucking kryptonite.
Besides the guy from Clemson, who's coming out?
I
don't watch
Justin Fields from Ohio State. There's a quarterback from North Coast State. I can't Trey Lance.
The kid from BYU, that boy is nice. Yeah. I forget his name.
There's a couple quarterbacks coming out.
You got the kid from Cal, but I don't think he's coming out.
But Sonny's that's the prize.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they said he's a generational football talent.
Between him and I don't think Justin Fields is all that good.
I mean, they say that.
I won't waste no top 5 pick. I won't waste a top 10 pick on him.
But I think that coming back, because for Cam Newton, where does he end up next season? If the Jets and Jaguars are obviously in need of quarterbacks, so whether they trade it or they take the they're going to get quarterbacks.
So I went over a few teams that need quarterbacks. You got the Jaguars.
Yes, right.
Minshew's not your guy. I could see the Jags seem like an organization that they are trending right, and then they just stop trending towards being a good, and they just go back to being
because last year at the end of the season, they were the face.
They top out at a certain.
It's like a few years back they beat the Steelers in the playoffs, and then that was it. They stopped. It's like they're one of those organizations that will never win, and I don't know why.
They started TikTok, felt they were making enough money, sold it, and boom, TikTok blew.
You got Jaguars could sign Cam, right? Another single-year contract. Why they draft someone?
But they're going to have a good pick. So you think they're going to pass on?
But I mean, it goes back to philosophy. With that rookie quarterback, is he starting from day one, or is you bringing in that veteran Cam Newton,
a couple games,
and then a couple games, and let that rookie go in? Kirk Cousins still a Viking. I don't know what the deal is with that.
Man, that fucker got rich in a matter of 5 years.
Him and Carson Wentz.
God damn, that motherfucker got rich, man.
Yeah,
he signed 18. 1 year he did a franchise tag for the Redskins. Had to be somewhere between 14 and 18 million. They don't sign him. He goes to fucking Minnesota for 2 years for $85 million and some change, and then they give him another extension here recently. Yeah. That dude got fucking rich.
Yeah.
Damn.
Redskins. They have
Washington
Alex Smith. Oh, excuse me.
I don't think they're going to go out.
Hey, to the people out there, to our viewers, I apologize.
Just like
Washington football team.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I agree. I have Washington as a team as well.
And
for Cam Newton to go to?
Well, just a team that needs to.
And it's like Donovan McNabb going into the end of his career.
But you got to think about it. Why would they do it now when they have a chance to go get him? He was there. I mean,
at that point, you still believed in Dwayne Haskins, and you had.
Yeah, but that was his former head coach, and that somebody that knows what Cam Newton can bring to the table, and they still didn't go after him.
What can he bring to the table?
Look, the following trend last offseason, following Cam and who he was going to be quarterback of, it was kind of hyped up. We all knew it was the Patriots, but they took forever to actually do the deal.
I didn't think it was. I thought he was going to go to.
You got.
Chargers.
Do you have? So I got the Bears, Washington, Detroit, and Denver as needing quarterbacks.
The Bears?
I got.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Jets.
I don't know that they're sold on
the Jets are.
I think that was a power move for them. Benching his ass.
Foles?
Benching Trubisky
Oh, yeah.
and let him see. Look what you're doing to us, man. We were just winning and now we're losing.
They were 5-1.
Bro, at one point they were one of the best teams in the NFL. And they benched him and they went to shit.
Hate to see it. You got Jets. They're getting obviously trading for Dak Prescott.
Oh my God, no stuff
You heard it here first.
Colts are trading for Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
So Bears are an option. Niners. Is Jimmy G the guy? Do you bring in Cam?
That's a discussion. Yeah, I think that's a viable discussion.
Wait, say that again?
There's been a lot of talk
Is
about
Jimmy G the guy? Which he's
to
not.
go back to
No,
New England?
for well, that'd be crazy. No,
For him to go back to New England?
is Jimmy G the guy for the Niners? I don't think
Man, and he
wants
can't
to
win
win.
in Kyle Hannon, what's his name? Kyle Shanahan's system after 2 years. I think he's done.
So
I see them moving up in the draft.
So
Taking a quarterback.
I think the role Cam takes is the
Backseat.
backseat. He's going to come in, he's going to start a few games, and then some young guy who's the next generational talent will come and start over.
So you think he's going to be a quarterback in the league next year?
Yes.
You do too.
I think that of all the teams that I said I would rather take my start, that starting QB on that team over Cam Newton. Cam's washed. Like, I think he is washed.
I think he's hurt.
He's washed. And that's another thing that adds to it is
He's just
he
not
had that shoulder injury to his throwing shoulder. And, like, I think that people forget how much injuries actually take a toll on people.
I don't think his heart's in it either, because did you see when he threw that pick in the last game in his face? He does.
I think he's in it. You've seen his Instagram videos of him working out. He's
Yeah.
fucking getting it. He's about it.
Well, right now or before the season started?
I think obviously before the season started.
Well, we're
but
talking about
I think he's beat up.
He
He's
needs
hurt.
to be with it now because he's playing for a contract next year.
And also, how much mental does it take? I mean, no one's going to pay him a lot of money next year regardless.
No, he might
He's a
be.
deal.
That's
He's a good backup. He's a Nick Foles. He's a guy who can come be your backup quarterback, and if your guy goes down, he can still win you a few games.
But is he going to be okay with being a backup? I think is the question.
So
Probably not.
I'm looking at these upcoming draftees, and there's not too many good quarterbacks. I thought the kid from BYU was going to go to the draft, but he's not on here. But you got the guy from Trask from Florida. I don't think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. That's just me. I don't think.
I think Cam Newton's best shot next year is that he gets placed into an offense that can use a wildcat formation and use him that way. That's the only way he's going to be successful. Is he's not a starting quarterback. He's not good enough to be a starting quarterback. He's good enough to have him come in and run the wildcat.
Well,
But he's going to be a backup next year somewhere.
here's the real question: who is closer to Cam Newton, and who is closer to being a top quarterback in this league? Lamar or Baker?
That's our next subject.
Look,
They're both better than Cam Newton.
yeah. No, both of these guys.
Yeah, but Cam Newton was an MVP. My point is, Cam was an
How many
MVP
years?
5 years.
Lamar
ago.
Jackson was our
5 years ago.
Lamar Jackson
So
was
who
was
is?
MVP last
So
year.
who
My man won MVP in
is?
the second year.
Who is going to survive the rest of his career, and who is going to end up being a disappointment? You have to pick one, be a disappointment, one to thrive.
So that's our next topic.
I bust Baker Mayfield balls a lot, bro, but
A lot. That's an understatement.
You said he couldn't read the defense.
he looked fucking good.
Look how that turned back on him now. He's retracting back on his words now.
I'm giving credit where it's due. He showed me a fucking lot against the Ravens. I was not expecting him to come out and play the way he did against the fucking Ravens. I did not expect that.
I
Man.
concur.
I have to give him credit. I mean, between you being a Baker Mayfield fan and causing me to give him grief, because I was a Baker Mayfield fan because of fucking my man, what's his name? Chris Collinsworth, whatever his name is.
Oh,
that dude, you think I
Colin,
Cowherd.
Coward. That dude is a cunt.
He's a Baker.
He would probably let Baker fuck his wife.
Yeah.
I'd be willing.
He's a-
Forever go
He-
publish.
he's-
All he does is talk shit.
Forever go publish this. I suggest in that last 20 seconds.
No, I'd say we bring on. I want to smoke with him.
Oh,
I
you
want
want
to
smoke?
smoke with him.
Hey,
I want to sit down and have a conversation with Colin Cowherd.
Was Baker's his best game ever a loss against the Ravens? Was that the best game of his career?
Was that the best game of his career? That's a good question. I think it was.
Well,
you can't say that because just recently he went 20 for 23, 300 yards, 4 TDs at one game where he had to come back win the end of the game.
Against the Bengals.
I mean, it was the Bengals. I mean, in-state
that's what I'm saying.
That was a good game.
The Ravens have the top defense in the league.
I think if you're looking at full game for Baker, Baker had the best full game of his career. I think that he had a really good game against Tennessee. The only problem is the second half they were up, so they were trying to run the ball. They didn't want to put the ball in Baker's hands. Which I understand. You don't want to give any quarterback in that situation. Maybe. I mean, there's just like.
But that's just the NFL. I don't think that was the coach saying, we got to take the ball out of his hand right now.
Baker had
every
his.
coach is going to do that coming the second half. When we're up, we're running this motherfucker.
Yeah. Baker had the best full game of his career against the Ravens, which I didn't expect.
Does Baker have the potential to be a top 5 quarterback in the league?
Man, I ain't going well on that one. I ain't gonna go that far.
I ain't either.
The guy he played, he made. I'm pulling back my statement. He ran defense really well this past weekend.
I don't know.
How much?
He ran.
Okay, to
He ran well.
how much longer does Lamar have being quote unquote? He was MVP last season.
I think I agree with you. I think it's the offensive coordinator.
The minute the Ravens fire,
I do.
What's his name?
Greg Roman.
Greg Roman with these old ass 49er plays that they have for Kevin Kaepernick, and they get somebody in there that's gonna force Lamar to pass the ball. You're gonna see you might see something similar to Patrick Mahomes. I know that's a long shot, but you might see something similar to that.
You just compared Lamar Jackson to Patrick Mahomes.
I said similar.
So you think he's got the arm?
Bro, I've always been a fan.
Fuck no.
Look at the man in college, man.
Lamar cannot throw the fucking football.
Dude had the ball on the fucking rope.
Can't throw.
Look at him when he was in Louis.
I've been a
Lamar Jackson fan. For all the Ravens fans that work at the DES, they're not true Ravens fans. They don't do their research, man. I'm telling you. Look at that dude when he played in Louisville.
I think one of the reasons why he's having an off year too is that right guard Marshall Yanda, he was, I think, the best in the league. I'm serious.
But my counteract is the Eagles have had 13 different.
Nobody's talking about the Eagles right now.
But my point is, we can't use that right guard's not in the game.
Everything's got. Well, it's a big impact though. I mean, he was arguably the best right guard in the league. And he just retired out of nowhere.
Look, if we're saying who's going to have a better future down the road, Lamar or Baker, I'm taking Baker. Because Lamar is not going to thrive in any offense other than when he's in.
If y'all fire that head coach, y'all
So
we know the Browns are good for firing head coaches after 1 year.
So you take Lamar Jackson down the road versus Baker Mayfield?
I don't know. It's hard to say because I mean Baker has he has a quarterback, head coach, offensive mind, so he's gonna put him in the right position. Well, you don't have that with Lamar. Lamar Jackson don't have that.
I think there's the tangible here that we're missing. I think Baker's the winner. If I was drafting, knowing everything I know today, and I had 2 options at quarterback for the next 10 years, because I want my quarterback to go at least 10 years, right? It's a 10-year commitment. I think that's, it's like buying a car. I'm driving Baker Mayfield.
Facts.
I'm driving Baker Mayfield. Here's
why. This guy.
Lamar's legs aren't forever. Name a, like, Michael Vick, right? One's it forever.
No, but that's for 10 years. You just said, hey, I got to get rid of this car after 10 years. Fuck it, ride it to 10 years, right?
I'm just saying, Baker he's going to outlast Lamar in this league.
Is Baker going to be able to do that rollout for the next 10 years? That's
a great question.
That he does?
He's so proficient at the last 2 games, he doesn't have to.
He's so proficient at that role. That's his go-to.
Is Lamar going to be able to leave the pocket every single play for the next 10 years?
Like, the question is,
and what's going to happen is if you force Lamar to throw it, he is not going to be able to throw it.
As long as he can throw across the middle, he's going to be good. The number's not lying for him.
So,
across the middle, he looks like his own point.
His stats are also, people sit here and say, well, he had 36 passing touchdowns last year. Got it. But if you look at the types of touchdown passes that he threw,
How many yards he throw for? 2,000, 2,500? It was like 2,500, right? Last year.
I don't think he
I
had that
can't
in
recall
limited.
exactly how many. I know he rushed for a shit.
I'm just saying the legs aren't forever, but Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, the arm lasts much longer.
Yeah. Baker is a much better passer than Lamar. Baker is I would take Baker in the future over Lamar, just based off the fact that I don't think Lamar is, take being a Browns fan out of it. I don't think Lamar is going to be a great pro quarterback. If he's not able to lead the pocket and people are containing him, can he make the throws down the field that he needs to? No. He's shown it over and over again that he can't. Yeah, I mean, he had the one pass to Marquise Brown I don't know if it was to take the lead or if it was I think it was just to come close. And Marquise Brown is wide open down the field. Now, if he has to thread a needle for that pass, he's not making that pass. I'm taking Baker to make that pass over Lamar any day.
Well, Lamar Jackson had 3,100 passing yards last year with 1,200 rushing. Fucking 1,200 rushing.
So you're undecided, Lamar or Baker?
I'm gonna go Lamar.
Okay.
They're both winners. I think they both had the winner's mentality. Eventually, the Harbaugh is going to get rid of fucking Greg Roman. All these defenses are just figuring Lamar out.
So before we go to our picks,
Well, they have to run a fucking read option every single play. So
Same
Lamar's
thing.
like, oh, they have our playbook. Well, you run fucking 2 plays every game, every fucking down. So
But that's not his fault, though.
you're either running it or you're gonna fucking do an RPO. It's
Greg
not
Roman,
hard to
49ers. You know?
And it's showing this year with the drop in his stats. Baker has much better stats than Lamar. Baker's a better quarterback. Lamar can't pass.
Fucking guy.
So our last topic before we get into our picks is Giannis with the Milwaukee Bucks. Just signed for a big deal. Does Giannis have the ability to take the Bucks to the NBA Finals and win a championship? Sir Brad, what do you think?
Well, if we're talking, I mean, down the road, obviously teams can make moves, but as of right now, how they sit, he's not. I don't even know that he can make it out of the East. The Nets are stacked. The Sixers are a good team. I think my Cavs are a sleeper team. But that may or may not be a stretch. Might have been playing a little bit
The
too
Cavs
much.
with a sleeper.
Giannis is good, but he's not elevating his team to win a championship in 7 games against the Lakers. Good.
I definitely don't think so in the next 2 to 3.
Hey, the motherfucking king is back. 18. Put the stripes on him. Put the stripes on him. He's back.
As long as LeBron's in the league, I don't think Giannis can win.
That's my point.
Giannis even
that is
said
my
himself. He's like, I'm not the best in the league. LeBron is.
At least he knows.
He said LeBron
At
is.
least he's self-aware enough to know that he's not the best in the league. I think there's just too much firepower in the West.
If what I read today is true about the Bucks and what Giannis said to the ownership, I think they're going to make a move for Bradley Beal. I think they will. But they're going to have to give up a lot.
But even if they get Bradley Beal, do they come out of the East?
No.
New Jersey's coming out of not even New Jersey, Brooklyn. Brooklyn's coming out of the East.
Man, that's a hard one.
You got the Heat, the Sixers.
I still like the Heat.
I like Brooklyn.
I think it's easy to like
Heat's
Brooklyn because they have KD.
I think
Well,
KD's
why are you
coming.
taking? But why are you putting all these other teams that proven themselves over? Picking Brooklyn over all these other teams.
I don't know. I'm trying. You said proven?
All the teams that just proven that they could go to that next level. I don't see that with Brooklyn. For one, who's guaranteed that Kevin Durant will stay healthy?
He can score. He can score whenever he
He's a
wants.
snake.
Yeah, he can.
He couldn't do it by himself.
Who's can say Kyrie can stay healthy?
Couldn't do it by himself either.
I mean, Kyrie was
Two guys who couldn't do it by himself. On the
Yeah.
Nets.
They
You got
went- they
two
both went to the
guys
Nets.
who both needed assistance to either from LeBron or to beat LeBron, and they joined forces on the Nets.
So probably to both prove one to prove
That's
that
right.
he was better than LeBron, and the other one is saying I don't need LeBron.
Who's
But,
better than LeBron?
well, Kevin Durant is doing all this to prove that he's better than LeBron. Man. That's why he went to the Nets.
He might as well just stay with the Warriors because he's not better
Yeah.
than LeBron.
That's all this is about. I'm telling you, man. And you know my whole thing about the coaching with the Nets. Like, that job should have went to Jacques Vaughn.
Absolutely.
That after what he did last year with the fucking Nets, with all those injuries, come on, man.
Steve Nash, baby.
How you not awarding that, man?
I agree.
Damn.
Well, I think they have the firepower to make a run because I think aside from Kyrie and KD, they've got Karis LeVert.
Yeah.
They've got
Swing.
Joe Harris, Spencer Dinwiddie. They have some depth. They have Jared Allen,
Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan still. So they have depth. So they have a chance.
And he got hurt that one time last year. He didn't come back. They didn't even bring him back.
They're definitely. I think they're better than the Bucks. They're definitely a team that's going to be in front of the Bucks for the next 2 to 3 seasons in the way to even get out of the East. You also have Simmons and Embiid. Let's see if Doc makes them click in the East. You have Miami, who Butler, I think, proved. I think he's a top 5 player in the league right now.
Not only is he a top 5 player, he's a fucking leader.
He's a leader.
Yes,
He's a fucking
leader.
leader.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah.
That photo,
That shit rubbed off on all those guys.
from the finals, where I think he tied the game, and he's just like slumped over, leaning on the basket, and he's just burned. And it's just like that's honestly, I kick myself every day for the Sixers letting that man go. It hurts.
That's gonna harm the team.
So
if he's sitting out there burning himself out every game.
well, I'm just saying it's just that he's that guy. He's going to carry all the weight that he can carry.
I appreciate watching shit like that. He left everything on the court.
I think the Lakers won the finals, but I think that's the photo of the finals.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so the Bucks, right? Who's Giannis' second? Let's say Beal doesn't go to the Bucks. Who's Giannis' second?
Middleton.
You still got Middleton.
Holland.
You got
Well,
unreliable.
I was Matthews. Matthews went to fucking LA.
Yeah.
So what's that saying about Giannis?
Yeah.
You know?
Why has he struggled so much in the postseason?
Because he don't have a jump. He don't have a jumper.
Same reason as Sixers.
He doesn't have a jumper, and there's nobody else that can step up.
I also think he's a different beast when you get to the playoffs. I think it does take a little bit of experience to be successful because it's like a different atmosphere. You know, the only person to ever just step into the playoffs and just own it is obviously LeBron James, but I don't see too many other people doing that.
But that's what he plays
Well,
for.
when
LeBron carried those 7 Cavs teams.
When you go 7 games straight or 5, 6, your game plan shows in game 1. And now you're hitting, and it's not like baseball where you have a different pitcher every night.
Yep.
It's your game plan, game 1. If you can't execute that for 3 more games, it don't matter.
I think the thing that's going to hurt the Nets is the ability for other players to play off the ball. So, like, Spencer Dinwiddie, because Kyrie and KD...
That dude has the ball in his hand. LeVert, ball in his hand.
Well,
so now you got...
Karis LeVert, let's just put it out there. You guys heard it here first. Circa 2012, Gulfport Madison versus Pickerington Central. I locked up Karis LeVert, held him 5 points in the first quarter. I scored 6, so I outscored him. I should be in the NFL or NBA, honestly, because I outscored Karis LeVert. Now we're not going to talk about them pulling me off of him the next quarter before he lit your ass up, before he dunked on one of my teammates. But I'm just saying, Karis LeVert, I locked him up. I should be in the NBA. That's basically how I view that. Now, that being said, I think Karis and Spencer Dinwiddie are going to have to learn how to play off the ball. Because those two are really good. They turned out to be... They surprised me last year with how good they were. And didn't Karis LeVert hurt his ankle last year, I think.
Yeah.
Right? So, was he out the rest of the season?
No, he came back at the end.
Did he?
Came right back at the end.
Yeah, I think... But I think they have a really good, dominant 5 position with Jared Allen and DeAndre Jordan. Yeah. And then Joe Harris is one of the best sharpshooters. Him and old boy from the Jazz, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Those two can shoot the fucking ball, shoot the lights out. I don't think. No. Ingle, Joe Ingle.
Joe Ingle can shoot the rock like that.
Yeah, he can shoot.
He ain't no sharpshooter.
I mean, he can shoot. He's good. He's not bad. He can shoot. But I don't think anybody beats the Lakers. Nobody beats the Lakers.
So was Giannis's signed 5-year contract? What was it, 223?
228. 228.
It
Was that was the highest paid contract?
So, dumb loyalty, or
I think that was all loyalty, man, on both
what
sides.
was it dumb?
Yeah.
I don't think it was dumb.
Well,
I personally appreciate.
So
it
you're gonna call that
in
dumb?
the-
You gotta say
well, I asked the
It's
question.
James
I'm
Harden.
not calling it dumb. I'm saying I appreciate it in the world of Anthony Davis and
don't even bring that up.
Kevin Durant. I appreciate it in the world of Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant, where you got people who aren't happy and they force their ways out of the situation, and Giannis is saying, I'm going to bring it to Milwaukee. Even though I don't think Milwaukee's going to give them the pieces to bring it.
I don't think they can, though. They signed him such a big
5
contract.
years?
I mean,
My man gonna make $45 million
Am I wrong?
per
I
year.
agree.
But, like,
So is it
I mean,
unfair?
no, you're wrong. I hate Kevin
LeBron,
Durant.
will it, like when LeBron went to Miami?
Here we go. We're going to have this conversation right now. LeBron went to Miami, right? Because
Chris
Cleveland wasn't doing their part. Kind of like Milwaukee at this point in time is not doing their part. And that's, by the
there
way,
are other
much
reasons that he left
different.
Cleveland.
Much different compared to like Kevin Durant's like, hey, I just lost you guys in the Western Conference Finals. And you guys lost by a game in the finals. Let me join you. Let me join forces. That's such a fucking statement. It pisses me off every time. So,
Yeah, but guess what?
so
Did he get a ring from it?
it's all different. No, fuck him. I guarantee he'll never win another ring again.
Look,
Yeah,
LeBron,
He will never win
I don't
another
blame
ring
you.
again.
not going to ring a ring again?
Kevin Durant will never win another ring again.
LeBron was gonna win a ring regardless.
He's going to win it this
If he was
year.
gonna stay in Cleveland, he was still gonna win. He would have won. I think eventually he would have won a ring because he
In
is the type
Cleveland.
of leader. He's that leader that he could convince people to come to.
All I'm saying is,
Eventually, he would have got another superstar to come to Cleveland, even though they would have hated it.
Well, let's be honest. We don't have much in Cleveland, so I don't blame any superstar for not wanting to play in Cleveland.
now you got the Cleveland baseball team.
Well, yeah.
So is it unfair as fans for us to sit here and say it was selfish of Giannis to take that contract because now the cap space is tied up with him to where they can't go out and get somebody else?
No, because that's a 5-year max deal. You still have time for multiple teams have multiple max deals.
Well, you got to factor in.
And
I don't think
also
it's
the
gonna
cap,
affect anything.
the cap went up this year.
You-
I just don't think Milwaukee's going to make the move they need to make. Or I also think, like Cleveland, it's a hard north city where not much is going on. What's going on in Milwaukee?
Protest.
Process and cold.
Gold.
It's a small market. It's a small market franchises that have a hard time recruiting people.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at
I
Cleveland,
think
you
Milwaukee's
look
a little bit bigger and a little bit better set up to reel in some.
Will Giannis ever leave the
You know?
Bucks? Will he ever just up and say, you know,
I don't
what,
think so.
have it?
I wouldn't be surprised if we get to year 3, 4 of this contract, Milwaukee doesn't do their end, the ownership and the GM, and he says I want out. I wouldn't be surprised.
The only thing that tainted LeBron for me is the fact that he's a kid from Akron, from the fucking state, and he up and left.
Well, I
You
mean,
burn your jersey?
he came back.
I didn't have a LeBron jersey.
Oh.
He
I
came
was
back.
one of the very few.
Came back.
He did, but at the end of the day, he left, and then he left again to go to LA.
Man, sometimes that's what it takes.
Which-
man, to
Hey,
win that voice.
Hercules had to go and train.
I don't blame.
Hercules had to go and train.
I don't
He
blame.
went out and trained and he came back and
Hercules had
played
to go
home.
and train.
If
Think about it, he would have got to a 2, man.
if
If
you
Kyrie
think,
and Kevin Love didn't
Well,
get hurt like little bitches.
did you hear his?
What?
I don't know.
All right, that's
Did you hear what he said about Giannis signing his big contract? He said basically, we were in different situations. Essentially, LeBron got snaked by a lot of people in Cleveland, and that's why he ended up leaving.
Yeah.
Kyrie, reporters,
The
Dan
owner.
Gilbert, the owner. He got snaked by a lot of people. So, I understand why he left, but at the same time, somebody from Ohio, I would have loved if he just stayed on the Cavs the entire time.
I agree.
But he did bring us a championship to Cleveland, so we can't really be too upset with it. But I don't know. I think Giannis might just stay with the Bucks his entire career.
Do you
It depends on how much he values the championship.
think
Let's see what
Dan
happens
Gilbert
this season.
ever puts a statue in front of the stadium of LeBron James after winning their own championship?
I think
He should.
has to, Nick.
He should.
He should.
But he's too fucking
Or
hard
will
headed.
he? He should. But
He's
will
too
he?
hard headed.
I
He probably won't because he's too fucking hard headed.
They'll have to wait till that fucker dies.
Well,
They'll
wasn't it?
have to wait till he died. to put
Wasn't
that
it when he
motherfucker
went
out
to Miami and Dan Gilbert was like, "He'll never fucking play for my team again,"
Yeah.
and then he's back on the team in 2016 and brings us a championship.
With that, you heard it here first. Dan Gilbert has to die in order for LeBron to get a statue. All right, let's move into our picks. We'll go straight down the line. First game up, Raiders-Chargers. Who you got?
Ooh, that's tonight.
Raiders.
I agree. Raiders.
I did my FanDuels. Austin Eckler is available. I just got the notification.
I'm going
I don't think that
Chargers.
changes. I'm going with the Raiders. I didn't have them highlighted as a game time.
I'm gonna go Chargers.
You going Chargers?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers.
I want to be different. That's
I like
great.
that offense.
Bills-Broncos. I got the Bills.
I like Austin Eckler.
Schofield.
Bills.
Bills.
Yeah.
Brown. Bills.
No doubt.
Unanimous. Green Bay, Carolina. Is it unanimous?
Green Bay.
Green Bay, they better fucking win.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
No, let's go Carolina. Let's go Green Bay.
Colts, Texans.
Colts.
Colts.
Colts Texans. As bad as I want to say the Texans because I love Deshaun Watson, I'm gonna go with the Colts.
I'm going Texans.
You're going to have a bad record after week one.
Titans Lions. This man's already lost and the game's haven't even started. Who is it?
Titans, Lions. I
Titans
got the
and fucking
Titans.
Lions.
Schofield.
Titans.
Yeah, the Titans.
Lions.
You got the
Hey,
Lions.
Lions fired their head coach and they're on the move. No, I'm going Titans. I'm with you.
Matthew Stafford, most
I like
underappreciated.
Very,
Quarterback
very
in the league.
underappreciated.
All right, we'll bring it back the other way. Bears, Vikings. Who you got, Sunday?
I'm going Bears.
Bears Vikings. I'm gonna take the Vikings.
I've got Bears as well. I'm with you, sir.
Bears. The Bears.
Seahawks, Washington football team.
I'm going Seahawks.
Nope, I'm taking Washington.
I've got Seahawks. I think they're coming back.
I got sea chickens. You said Washington?
I'm taking Washington.
He's
I
jumping
think
the
it's
bandwagon
upset.
because of the defense.
I mean, their defense is good.
Because hey, you got to think about it. Chase Young is from he's from Maryland, but he also went to Ohio State.
Well, I'm a trader. I'm a Michigan fan, so I really don't
Oh
like him.
shit! Yeah,
But I do think that Seattle got exposed by the Giants, and I think that Washington defense is even better. So it wouldn't shock me if Washington won. I just don't know if the offense is there. Their running back is really good, though.
I think one of the more interesting games of the weekend, Patriots-Dolphins. Sorry,
Dolphins.
who you got? Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I'm going Patriots.
what?
I'm dead serious. I am. I think they're going to have a comeback game.
Cam go earn him some money in this offseason?
No.
Hey, look, if Cam plays his cards right, he might only have 3 picks or something.
Hey, Lamar fan, Ravens, Jags. Who you got?
Ravens.
As much as it pains me to say it, the Ravens.
I've got the Ravens as well.
Ravens.
All right, we'll run it back this way. Bucks, Falcons.
Bucks.
Bucks.
Yeah, Tom Brady all day.
Come on, fucking Falcons.
I feel like we didn't talk about him.
Falcons are going to beat the Bucks.
Falcons. I gotta go with the Falcons.
You go to hell.
He is going.
I gotta
You
go.
go.
with the
You go to
Falcons.
hell.
Niners, Cowboys.
Niners.
I got Niners as well. They're getting healthier.
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners. I just don't trust Dallas.
Definitely not picking Dallas. Let's go Niners.
Mullins actually kind of looks good in that offense.
All right.
Surprised.
Here we go. Cardinals, Eagles.
I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles on this.
You are taking Philly.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You're taking Philly over Arizona.
Yeah, that fucking defense. That front four for the Eagles. Man,
If they
that
go,
fucking
if they
defense.
go, Mary's in trouble.
Please tell me you're picking Arizona.
That front four for the defense for the Eagles was on point.
Well, considering I didn't smoke any crack before I came here, yeah, I'm gonna go with Arizona.
Myself as well.
Hurts is
Flying high, baby.
Okay.
I ain't saying it hurts, so I don't
Hey,
understand
hey,
why
we're
going over
We're
hurts.
going streaking.
That fucking
We're going
defense was
streaking.
so you're picking
2 in
it
a
based
row.
off the defense.
off of that front.
He's
man,
obviously picking it based off being an Eagles fan.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
going off of several factors.
man,
Several factors.
they held up our run game, no matter if it was Alvin Kamara, no matter if it was fucking
Alvin Kamara's had an off year this year.
And you give him Sunday.
what?
Yeah.
What you just said?
No, the only
He's
reason
not doing as
off-
much as I expect him to do. I'll rephrase it. I expect Kamara to play way better than he has.
Again, you go back to when Drew Brees got hurt, Alvin Kamara numbers went down.
So I think it's safe to say that Taysom Hill isn't a better franchise quarterback than Baker. Because somebody on this podcast tried to make that argument.
Rams, Jets.
Rams.
Rams as well.
Right.
Go the Jets.
Hey, it could be the fourth quarter. The Jets are up 21-0, and they will literally forfeit the game.
I'm telling you, they threw that game against the Raiders.
Yes, they did.
And they fired Greg Williams and said, "You keep your fucking mouth shut. Here's $1 million." They made him sign a no.
They gave him more than $1 million.
They made him sign a contract and everything.
They had to be more than $1
That
million.
had to have been rigged.
Another very interesting matchup this weekend.
Super Bowl preview.
Chiefs Saints.
Who that, baby? Let's go!
Hey, if Drew Brees, because what I read earlier, he's not.
No place that don't you
He's
do
not
that,
back.
Ricky Bobby.
If he comes back this week, the Saints. I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, I hope my quarterback
Contradicts everything I said all podcast. I'm picking the Saints.
I'm picking the Saints if Breeze plays. If he doesn't, Chiefs.
What are you doing here? Fucking making.
Well, this is
Hey, the Saints come back. They avenge what happened last
So
week.
you guys think that Breeze comes off 11 broken ribs and a
Bro,
bunch of
that
blood
shit
and
is
beats
not-
the best team that
Okay, so pick the Chiefs then.
You bet your ass off on
Okay, why didn't you just say fucking Chiefs?
Come on, man. You know
Everybody's
what it
making
is.
these
Who that, baby?
Okay.
Let's ride.
Browns, Giants.
Browns.
Browns.
Here we go. Here we go.
Go Giants.
You know, the Giants' defense has been fucking
It has.
really
It
legit.
has been. And Baker
And
Mayfield
it's been
just played the
causing
best game of
fucking
his
problems.
career.
Now, here's the thing. Can Baker Mayfield read defenses of what the Giants have been throwing out?
Well, he read defenses on what
Hold
the
on.
Ravens were throwing out.
I don't, but yes, he did. But I don't think the scheme was as difficult as the Giants shit.
Well, here's the problem: is everybody's putting on Baker Mayfield. Let's not forget that it's a run first.
They did this to fucking Russell Wilson, man.
We need to do this Monday.
They put it on Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson
The Giants-
doesn't have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
And then Saturdays.
They're going to go back
I
to
give
running
you
the
that.
football.
I give you
This
that.
game is not going to come to be decided by Baker Mayfield.
I give you that. I give you that.
So you're going Giants.
I'm going Giants.
Wow.
I'm going Giants.
Wow.
Hey, we're
G-Man.
Monday 1600. We'll be back here. Last one, Steelers Bengals.
Oh, I'm going Steelers.
Me too.
Steelers is not
Steelers.
close.
Steelers. All right. That's it for this week's podcast. Join us Monday. That was way better than last week.
We gotta come back with a better
We got.
than that.
Well, we're just. This is all trials.
What's this thing we call?